Hello everyone, welcome back. This week for F2 we are at Brazil. Bit of a different sort of circuit to where I was at last week in Silverstone. Very technical one, Brazil. High downforce I would imagine on the cars tonight. Had a wet race last week? Am I getting mixed up here? Well, Glock, absolutely outstanding week last week. Reserving, he's in again tonight. Took pole position, started P10 in the sprint, managed to make his way back through to P1, overtaking Chip and pulling out about a 7-second gap. Great pace from Glock. Also took pole position straight to P1 in the feature race as well. Evening Mechanical, nice to see you in the chat, mate. What else? Luke, have we got Luke tonight? No, we don't have Luke tonight. He, unfortunately, after starting P5, finished P5 in the sprint, DNF'd in the feature race. Let's have a look at the standings before we get going. So, in P1 we've got Rick up to now with 78 points. P2 is Northern Nat, which is Luke's away at the moment, so he's missing this race unfortunately. Luke is P6 in the championship with 47 points, so he is there or thereabouts. This new scoring system, I think, does keep the lead a lot tighter till the end of the season. Oliver Richie has had a couple of podiums already. Last year's champion, of course. He's down in P3 with 61 points. Harold had a good consistent start to the season, Harold. He's found himself P4 after, 3 races. This is the 4th. Fake Scouts are new to the league. He's in P5 with 55 points. CDR Luke, who's away, he's in P6. So if Chip Hazard, Mechanical, Nerf Pack and Lutman have an half decent weekend, they could jump quite high, into the top 5 at least. That midfield is quite tight at the moment. 35 points from Nerf Pack, who's in P9. 21 points. Just David P14, so that's 14 points separating 5 places. Then we've got Kane in P15 with 17 points. Max Mario, 14 points. Rapid. So after he got some pace in that car, didn't expect to see him down that end of the table. He's only got 13 points. Carl, 18th with 6 points, and Airways and Nibs yet to get off the mark. One shot quality as usual. Moving this lap can have big consequences going into that feature race. Dry qualifying. Sure the lads will be happy with that for the time being. Brazil has got a tendency to throw a bit of rain here and there. Isn't to say we won't see any in the races, of course. See if Glock's got the pace this weekend. Is that overall pace in the F2 cars or track specific to Silverstone last week? See if Oliver Richie or Northern Nat can take that pole position. CDR Luke normally puts it on pole, obviously missing this week. opens it up for a few more lads. Yeah, standings a bit jumbled up to what they was last season. Max Mario down P16 at the moment. Only 14 points. Just Dave, also a newcomer, I think, but had good pace in round 2, I think. Down in P14. Wookie will want to try and improve on that P12, I'd imagine. Has got some overall pace in these cars, as we've seen previous. Let's get qualifying underway for tonight. Quite a few places track limits can have you. Can do it at the start of the lap going into turn 2. Run with last week's pole sitter Glock for this qualifying lap. Soft tyres favourable this week. Obviously drivers allocated 2 sets. 2 sets of the 5 as he throws it into turn 4. Tight, twisted technical section going into sector 2 now. As Rick retires from the session, is that a DNF in the quali lap from Rick? That is put big dents in his hopes of scoring good points tonight. Final couple of corners now for Glock. Didn't take much inside curve there. Flat on the power now, all the way to the line. The longest curve straight on the track. It's all flat out, of course, as he crosses the line. Just Dave puts himself on pole position with a 1:15.7. Glock manages P3. Cracking lap from Just Dave there. The only guy in the 15s by some margin, 0.4 of a second down to Northern Nat, were in P2. Hoping to claw a couple of points back. Richie and Harold up there as well, P3 and 4. Rick is the only person not to set a lap time. That is unfortunate for Rick, knowing full well that Richie and Harold are all starting at the front of the field. Rick's got some overtaking to do. Try and stop the damage limitation on the guys in front. Cracking lap from Just Dave. Takes his first pole position of Formula 2. Bit overcast at the moment there. I might be wrong in that stat. No, Just Dave got it in round 1 in Texas. I'm wrong there. Well done, second pole position for Just Dave this season, leading the way in the polls. Right. 11 laps around Brazil. Let's see if we have on offsetting tyre compounds. Clay is usually one to go the opposite strap. Let's see if the front runners can make them a couple of overtakes, get back onto the front steps. Glock managed it from P10, they'd be starting from P7. Chip also had a cracking sprint race last week, getting P2. Formation lap underway now. And CDR Luckman also on the podium for the sprint last week. Then we had Glock, Harold and Richie for the feature race. Harold another podium. We have seven podium sitters in 3 races. Harold with 2, Richie with 2, Nat with 1, Luke with 1, Rick with 1, Scouts with 1, Glock last week with 1. Just Days with 2 pole positions. Rick has the 1, so does Glock. Fastest laps at the moment is split between Nerf Pack, Mechanical and Harold. As we've got someone going off on the formation lap there. That looks like to be Wookie. No, let's get this check my book. It's a bit loud, that. 1 second, lads. Everyone taking the grid positions. Rapid quite far down in the championship, will be starting P1. We do know he's got good pace. Wookie also had good pace, a bit further down than he'd like. Harvey doing some great battling and racing from Harvey up to now this season. Then we've got Chip, last week's podium sitter. Clay, king of overtakes at the moment in this F2 championship. As we get underway for round 4 of CDR's F2, and away they go. 14 laps around to go. Everyone coming into turn 1. Oh, bit of contact there, didn't see that. Was looking further down the field, got 3 wide going into turn 2. That's never usually a good sign. Clay up 3 already, on about the overtake king, showing it how it's done. Lap 1, 3 positions gained for Clay. Rapid still out in front, as we've got exactly side by side. That is work, going side by side with Chip. Got Glock just in front of him. Oh, as he was nearly riding that car then. Don't know what is going on with Richie and Glock. Richie had a bit of a poor connection last week. Is that carrying over to today? Rapid just starting, coming around the final corner for the first time this evening. We've got Clay right on his gearbox. Let's have a look at the tyre compounds. Clay and Harold, the only ones on them soft tyres. Can they make them last 14 laps? So that is the question. Rapid on the mediums knows that Clay will be quicker for the opening few laps, but towards the end he doesn't need to burn them tyres out too much, defending from Clay in these opening couple of laps. We're dropping all the way to the back of the grid. Where's hit the barrier going into turn 2? Is that a broken front wing? No, looks like it's intact, but at the back at the moment by 5 seconds. We've got just Dave after starting P10, he's up into 7th. Chasing down Glock, who's also chasing down Richie. 2.5 second gap to Harold though. These front four just separating themselves at the moment. Couple of laps to get them medium tyres up to a working temperature, as Clay's looking a bit closer this time. Is he going to try and send it into turn 1? Goes to the outside, also sets the fastest lap. Who's going to be last on the brakes? Side by side going to turn 1. Clean racing move by Clay, taking P1. As that is Harold trying to go on the outside of Wookie. DRS open for both of these two guys. That is Rapid taking the lead back from Clay. Wookie keeps hold of 3rd place. Clay is now behind Rapid once again. 3.8 seconds now. Richie back from these guys. These are in a different race at the moment. We've got Fake Scouts are going side by side with Rick. Oh, as Chip nearly goes, as Harvey nearly goes into the back of Rick there. Chip's in front, of course. On board with Earth Park, he's got Harvey and Rick fighting just in front. How tight this pack is at the moment. Is Clay going to try and send it, or is he going to wait to turn the straight after turn 4? Goes to the inside this time. Rapid gives him plenty of racing room there. Bit of a touch on the exit. Is Wookie going to find his way through? Rapid needs to be careful. Harold's just behind Wookie now. Wookie's going side by side with Rapid. As Chip picks up a time penalty and tumbles down the order. Wookie makes it through on Harold. No, he was battling Chip. He was battling Rapid. He's not made the move yet. Richie's just pulled these guys in by a second. Only 1.3 seconds now. That gap to Richie. Just Dave, after starting P10, finds himself in a bit of clean air at the moment. 1.1 seconds behind as Wurr sets the new fastest lap of 17.8. Got Block getting past Harvey. That was nearly a move from Glock on Chip. I think Glock just outbreaks himself slightly. Glock under big pressure from Harvey as they're trying to go too wide further back. That is Harvey and Rick going at it. Harvey's just lost the place to Rick. Nice move from Rick there. Closest battle in front is Nerf Pack on Glock. Fighting for that P9 spot. Nerf Pack wants to get up there. Only the top 10 score points in these sprint races. Medium tyres starting to work a bit better now. As Wookie's just dropped 2 positions there from Clay and Harold going into turn 1. Is Harold going to try up the inside of Clay? Thinks about it, just a bit too far back. Almost contact between them two drivers, that was close. As Kane's the next one to pick up the 3-second time penalty for track limits. Yeah, Rapid on the mediums. It's got Clay and Harold behind on the softs. Clay starting to nurse them tyres a bit. Got 8 laps, and this one we're on. It's just David over Richie. Just Dave finally getting past Richie there. 1.1 seconds to Wookie. Tell you what, that front gap has just the front 5 have got closer together. However, the gap is now with Fake Scouser and Chip. It's down in P7, just P8, 5 seconds back. Seen Harold and Wookie going at it with Clay. Clay down into P4. Big lock up for Richie in the background. That's going to put Fake Scouser all over him, going into sector 2. Wookie and Clay trying to go side by side. As Wookie now picks up a 3-second time penalty in that P3 position. That's going to cost him big time. Just Dave making moves. Richie dropping back now. What's going on with Richie? Rick up into P9. Great recovery drive up to now from Rick. Finds himself in the points. Just behind P10 we have the rest of the field. Okay, and at the back. At to pit, I think. Yeah, he's had to make a pit stop. Put a set of softs on. This battle's still going at the back here. All fighting for that final point spot. P10. We've got battles all the way through the field at the moment. This is for the podium places. Harold just being dropped by Rapid, just under 2-second gap. He's got out in front. Just after him we've got Wookie, Clay, Just Dave. All within that DRS detection of 1 second. Watch on board with Clay. He's got Wookie out in front trying to make the move on Harold. He's going to see that from best view in the house. He's going to try up Harold as well. Oh, looked like he might have got a track limit warning with that corner cut of turn 2. Got Harold now on Wookie. Tries around the outside of 4. Wookie goes defensive. Doesn't allow Harold to go through. We've got Just Dave doing the exact same with Clay just behind. Oh, as Harold went deep there, that's going to allow Clay to catch up slightly. Close battle with Harvey and Mechanical. Glock only in P12. He nearly goes off track. Just Dave getting ever so closer to Clay. Clay's tyres starting to feel it now. DRS open for Dave. He's right up the inside. He's thinking about it. He goes for the move. Oh, as Clay goes off track. He's also missing an end plate on his front wing. That won't be helping on this very aero-sensitive track. Just corner after corner after corner around here in Brazil. Rick has Nerf Pack and Chip Hazard just in front. 4 laps to go after we cross the start-finish straight. Different lines being taken by Nerf Pack there. Bit of a wider line. Chip goes a bit wider and exit. That's going to allow Nerf Pack to get a better run all the way down to turn 1. Is Chip going to lose 2 positions here? Rick goes to the inside of Nerf Pack. Makes that move nicely. Nice racing move from Rick there. And we've got word just on the back of Nerf Pack now. Word thought about it for a moment. Now we've got Rick on Chip. Oh, bit of contact there. Chip taking out the meter boards. It's well both of the drivers to keep it on track. As Harvey now picks up a time penalty. Is Rick going to have a go now into turn 1 on Chip? We've seen him make the move on Nerf Pack. Is he going to go up the inside? Chip defends the inside. Oh, Rick makes that move. Oh, bit of argy-bargy from Chip there. Can Chip keep hold of him in DRS? Goes very deep. Comes on track safely. Loses the positions to Nerf Pack and Were though. That's just cost Chip the points. Nerf Pack's got through on Were as well in all that, as Were went off track by the looks of that. Nerf Pack threw up into P9. Just Dave now eyeing up a move on Harold for that final podium position. Just too far back this time round. No pit stops for anyone other than Kane. Clay managing them tyres is carrying that time penalty, but is 5.6 seconds in front of Oliver Ritchie, so he won't be losing any places as it stands. Clock dropping all the way back now to P15. Just Dave now only a 10th behind Harold going through sector 2. It's alright being this close in this sector. There's nowhere to make that overtake though. It's very tight. Just one line really in this section of corners. You need the better exit out of the final corner all the way to the DRS point. Going into turn 1 is your best opportunity of an overtake, or the little straight going down to turn 5. Just Dave what's closer this time is on the harder compounder tyre, so should have a bit more grip going into these final stages of the race. As Just Dave does make it round the outside of Harold. Harold doesn't fight that too much. Can Just Dave now try and attack Wookie in this final lap as Scouser picks up a 3-second time penalty. He won't move anywhere either. Out in front, Rapid controlled the race other than losing the lead to Clay early on. Didn't fight it, knew his tyres would be in a better state going towards the end. Now he's got a 2-second lead to Wookie out in front. As he goes around the final corner for this sprint race. It's Just Dave going to try it on Wookie as we get to the line. Got a back marker being lapped. As Rapid does take P1 in the sprint. Just Dave just about, oh, he gets it with the time penalty. That puts him into P2. Harold also inherits a podium spot going into P3. Wookie down into P4. And then we've got Fake Scouts at P5. Claymore on the softs. Took the lead early on, couldn't hold the pace. He finishes in P6. Rick, after starting from the back, P7. Great recovery from Rick. A couple of points in the bag there for him. There are your final results. No. Rapid taking P1, Just Dave P2, Harold P3 once again, podium sitter. Kane at the back. Disastrous race from Glock. He started P8, he's down in 15th. Earthpack just taking that final points position from P14. Are we going to have a dry feature race this evening? We are. No rain inbound for the time being. That was a cracking sprint race. That had battles all the way through to from the start lap to the finish lap. So we're going to have the same again. Hopefully a bit more strategy will come into this a bit more. Who's going to start on the softs? Who's going to start on the mediums? When do you pit? That is the question. Get caught in traffic can ruin your race. I had an absolutely catastrophe in Tier 3 when we was in Silverstone last week. Rain before the start of the race, heavy rain starting on the wets. Track dries up, I go to pit. Don't change it, puts me on a fresh set of wet tyres in a drying track. So another pit stop in that race for me. Absolutely killed any chance of decent points. Next time remember to have a look at your strategy. remembered as soon as I went in the pit, so as soon as I crossed the line I knew it was going on wets. Nightmare. Don't really know what we're waiting for. Shouldn't be too much longer now. There we go. All the drivers on the starting grid. Formation lap about to begin. Got Just Dave on pole. Second pole of the season. We've got Northern Nat up there in the Drivers' Championship. He's starting P2. Needs a good weekend for scoring points to try and challenge Rick, who's starting at the back of the grid this evening. We've got Glock, who's in a reserve seat tonight. We know he's got pace from last week out in Silverstone. Richie hopefully doesn't have any issues going into this feature race. He's got 2 disqualified in Nerfpack and Lutman there. Harold, after a podium in the sprint, will be after another one of them. He's starting P5. We've got Clay P6, starting on them soft compounds again is Clay. Chip Hazard, he's on the softs also, P7. Harvey P8, he's on the medium compound. And we've got Wookie P9, he's on the softs. So is Rapid. Mechanicals on the mediums, Kane's on the softs, Scouse is on the softs, and Rick, starting at the back, is on the softs also. Clay. Let's just stop there for some reason. Oh, don't know what's going on with the formation back there. Guys now taking the grid slots after a quite chaotic formation lap. Just Dave on them softs. Where's on the softs and Glock's on the mediums. Everyone else behind on the mediums, going back to Clay. Lights are going. Don't stay on for too long, and we're off for round 4 in Brazil. Got Just Dave hanging out in P1. We're thinks about making the move. Big contact there. We're lucky to keep it on the track. We've got Richie and Chip just trying to swap places. Wookie trying to put Chip under pressure. We've got bits of carbon fibre flying off in the background. We've got Rick, after gaining a place, he's at the backs, facing sideways. That is a terrible start for Rick. Fake Scouser making the move on mechanical. 2 Red Bull livery cars side by side, Richie and Chip. Fake Scouser also making the move on Kane. Look at the positions gained after that opening couple of corners. We've got Fate Scouts making moves in this opening lap. Up into P9. He's only 2.5 tenths behind Chip. No DRS for this opening lap or two. Nice sequence of corners, 1, 2, 3 round here in Brazil as Kane's dropping back. So's Harvey. Harvey momentarily on the grass there. Dropping back to P15. Clay's at the back, pitting already. That's that's a disaster from Clay. Couldn't continue the race. Front two have just gapped Glock by 2.3 seconds in the opening 2 laps. Got a yellow flag, and now it's gone green. As we've got Rocket defending from Oliver Richard. Chip going sideways out at the last corner. That's going to put him under big pressure from Rapid. Round the outside, Rapid goes. Just where sets fastest lap, 1:17.3. Chip does lose that position to Rapid, gains it back into turn 1. Great move from Chip as Harvey's DNF'd. And King Lutman also picking up a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Nerf Pack on mechanical at the inside. Nerf Pack fights that round the outside, just about keeps the position. No, he doesn't. Mechanical is through, up into P10. Closest battle at the moment is Fake Scouts are on Rapid. It's also has got Chip in front of him. Rapid jolts to the inside to go defensive slightly there. Any later than that, right, it's moving in the braking zone, my friend. Looking very close now to Harold. It's also very close to Glock in front. This is a tight battle for P3 at the moment. Just Dave only 0.6 in front of where now. We'll have DRS this lap. Rear wing opens. Gauge around 3 temps there. Can he keep that 3 temps for turn 4? DRS open again this lap. Just 2 temps behind now is where it's battle out in front. This Harold finally made the move on Glock. Glock keeps that inside line. Harold's got to be careful now to Wookie behind after battling with Glock. Could keep the door open for a move from Wookie. Well, it's just dropped back slightly now. 8 temps. Let's have a look at the compounds. Front 2 on softs. 3 and 4 on mediums, 5 on softs, 6 on mediums. And we've got 3 behind on softs, 2 on mediums, and the rest on softs. Soft compound is leading the way at the moment. Fake Scouts trying to line up Rapid now for the overtake. Settled down after his lap 1 wonders there, gaining 3-4 positions. Bit of a DRS train forming from P4 all the way down to P9. At the front of that is Glock, of course. 3.7 seconds to the cars in front. Is Harold going to be close enough for the overtake going into turn 1? Looks a bit too far behind. We're now just 5 tenths, just can't get closer than that. Is Just Dave running that slightly higher downforce in wings. It's helping him through sector 2. And he can't get close enough out of that last corner. It's 5 tenths, 4.5 tenths going into that sector. We'll see what the gap is as we get to the final corner. See, it's going up. Nearly 7 tenths, drops down to 6. So it's gone to 8 tenths now as we come to that final corner. We just can't hold him in that sector 2. 8.5 tenths as they start coming down that long kink. Once he opened, Owen Worth decided to pit. He's trying the undercut on Dave, thinks that's the only way he can get past him. We'll see how that pays off when Dave decides to pit. We've got Were, Rapid, Chip, Kane all boxing now. Harold up the inside of Glock going into turn 3. We'll have DRS. Keeps that inside line, does make that move on Glock, goes up into 2nd place. Nerf Pack and Mechanical swapping positions. Oh, that's a big contact there between Wookit and Richie. No, more than likely see that in the reports page later on this evening. Harold's gone deep. Luckily Wookit only lost the 1 position there, as Richie now doesn't have a front wing. Oh, it's Fake Scouts that picks up a 10-second time penalty. Just Dave deciding to stay out another lap. So is Harold, he's on the mediums of course, so is Glock. Mechanical and Nerf Pack also on the mediums. Everyone else has pitted. The 3 that are there are all in the box. So this is your opposite strat at the moment. Just Dave, Harold, Glock, Mechanical and Nerf Pack all on the medium compound. See what score the football is. 1 second, boys. I'm missing the football for this. Nil-nil, an hour gone. Got the leader in Just Dave deciding to pit and picks up a 10-second time penalty. That is a game, not in a race ruiner for Just Dave there. He was having a cracking opening stint. Got 10 laps out of the softs, could easily get 10 laps out of the medium tyres. He's just giving himself a mountain to climb now. He has got a 29-second gap to where in front, to behind him, sorry, so that is a nice bit of clean air for him to find himself in as he nearly loses it on the exit of the pits. The cold tyres, everyone knows it's a treacherous pit lane that. Don't lose it as he hits the barrier as well on the exit for good measure. Looks like his front wing's still intact though, and he does make it out just in front of where there. Undercut from where didn't work, but he can now see a 10-second time penalty on Just Dave's name. He'll be rubbing his hands together now with that. Let's have a look at the time penalties anyway. So we've got Nerf Packs on 3, obviously Just Dave's on 10, so's Fake Scouser. Jesus Christ. Fake Scouser, Rapid, Chip Hazard, all but one of the penalties are speeding in the pit lane. Wow. That is interesting. Harold and Glock fighting for P1. These two guys don't want to be holding each other up, allowing the runners behind that have boxed to try and close that gap. Bit of contact with Harold and Nerf Pack there. Glock's also missing the end plate of his front wing. Rapid just making his car a bit wider in Scouser's mirrors there, trying to force the mistake. Where will be looking round at his timing board and be like, what is going on? Glock now decides to pit. So with Nerf back, Mechanical and Harold have stayed out. Harold wants the quickest in lap he possibly has now, doesn't want to leave any life in them tyres. Just Dave and Were get promoted there, we got pitting. So does Fake Scouser and Rapid, Chip and Wookie after Nerf Pack boxes. Chip Hazard all over the back of Wookie. DRS going into turn 4, tries it round the outside. Both leave the room. Chip can't make that move stick. This top 3 could look so different with all these penalties. All about track position round here, I think, in these cars. Where just drops out a DRS from Dave. Mechanical signed pit, so is Harold. Always held slightly there for Mechanical coming in. That promotes Just Dave back into P1. Were could afford now 4 track limit penalties and still get second place. Were knows is in a comfortable position now. Just needs to keep all four on the track, as we are on lap 13 of 20 this evening. Nearly 2/3 of the way through. We've got Glock and Scouser going side by side down the main straight, both with DRS. Got Rapid just in front of these two. Needs to be careful. Right, it's Fate Scouser getting up into P4. Glock, is he struggling with that front wing? As Scouser tried up the inside of Rapid, doesn't make the move to stick this time around. Wasn't too far off though. Rick, P9 at the moment, not made. Starting last on the grid, up into P9, not too bad. From Rick, that not too bad at all. We'll be hoping for a better qualifying next time out. Richie, after having to change his front wing, he's down in 12th. Kane is in front of He's in front of Luckman there. He's dead last at the moment, nearly a second behind, a minute behind the boys there, as Fate Scouser does make that move on Rapid going into turn 1. Glock's all over the back of Rapid now. Two swapping places again. Harold is only 3/10 behind as they go through the final corner. That does seem to be close enough to try and make the move. CRS open for the pair of them. There's Glock and Fate Scouser swapping positions once again. Who's that just in front? That is Rick getting past Chip up into P6. Chip tries fighting that up the inside with the old switchback, but doesn't work. Rick keeps that P6 position. That's Mechanical going around the outside of Nerf Pack. These two side by side. Great battles this evening on track. Does keep that place. This is Rapid and Fake Scouser. P4 on the road, both with 10-second time penalties, of course. Turn that off now. Let's have a look at how the strategies have played out. So we have Just Dave and Were starting on them softs, making them last around 10 laps, deciding to box. Were tried the undercut on Just Dave, didn't have the pace, but Just Dave ruined his race with that speeding and the pit lane penalty, of course. so that could cost him the win tonight. Still got these two going at it. These three, should I say. We've got Rick on the back of these now. No, not that is Rapid. Fate Scouser and Glock. Just Dave, 2.7 second lead out in front. Fastest guy on track at the moment. No one's been able to live with him all race. Just a shame about that penalty. That will cost him. Harold's a bit closer to Lucky this time. That is Harold easily making the move on Lucky. Couple of gaps at the front, 3 seconds to P2, 6.3 seconds to P3. Then we've got this battle of these three here. These three staying in situ for the time being. No one. So Harold now picks up a time penalty. No one close enough to make any sort of attempt of a move there. As Luckman's nearly getting lapped by the front runners. So just picks up another 3 second time penalty. These are the front pack now catching as we're on the second to last lap. Flown by once again this feature race. Couple of attempts, just under 6 attempts separating these three drivers at the moment. Rick knows they'll be gaining the positions anyway with them time penalties once they get added on to the finishing times. As we start the final lap this evening. Rick could even be making his way onto the podium as it stands. As that is Mechanical facing sideways, bit of an argy-bargy between Wookie and Mechanical. That wasn't Mechanical at all, that was Nerfback facing sideways. As Just Dave starts the final couple of corners of this race. Unfortunately for him, he does have that time penalty. He might find his way on the podium if he can try and scrape out a couple of attempts. Or could Rick from P6 be on the podium? Around the final corner. As Rick does cross the line first, can he grab a podium position? 10-second time penalty for him. Worth 45 is going to inherit the win through that. How about Glock? Glock jumps up to P2. Just Dave just about takes P3 by 4/10 of a second. Rick only just missing out there. Everyone jumping around now as these time penalties are added. Great race this evening here in Brazil. CDR F2 never fails to disappoint. There we go. Race winner, fastest lap. Going to work. Driver of the day going to Rick from the game. Also overtakes Fake Scouser. Cleanest driver, Wookie. There's your final results. Word does take P1 in that feature. Glock, another podium for him. Just Dave also taking a podium. Rick just missing out after the time penalties. Unfortunately, DNS for Clay and Harvey this evening. Chip dropped back to P12. Richie, he only finished P11. That's not helped his title championship defence. It's all to play for next week. There's your results for the sprint. Rapid taking the win. Just Dave from P2. From P10 all the way to P2. Let's get the drivers in for the interviews. Just Dave. Send these boys the invites. Evening, Nat.
Evening, buddy.
How we doing, mate?
Oh, sweaty.
Well, you look like you was in quite comfortable with all them 10-second time penalties around you.
I don't know what's going on, mate. No one knows what a pit limiter is.
I know, mate. I know. Pit your braking zone.
I think at one point on my board at the side, out of all the 5 people were there, I was the only one that didn't.
I actually
didn't have a
mentioned
penalty.
that. I mentioned that you'd see that and just be like, all right, sound. You actually had the chance to go off track and get 4 track limit warnings, and you just still got the win.
No, I was nursing 2 limit warnings from lap 4.
Oh, well done.
But I noticed, because I was stuck behind Dave and I was running a lot less rear wing than him.
I could tell he had more downforce in sector 2,
yeah.
mate.
But as we were coming out of the first DRS zone after you go down the hill, he also picked up 2 track limit warnings. And I was like, right, whatever he does, I can do. Especially after he got that 10-second penalty. And I was just like, yep, if I just keep with him as long as possible. I think I was gaining about 3-4 tenths down all the straights.
Yeah, it was.
And then he'd pull out 7 in the corners. So as long as I keep up that pace, that 10-second we're always going to drop in behind me.
Yeah. As you was coming to turn 1, it was about 3 tenths, and then by the last corner it got to 8 tenths. So it was just that couple of attempts in it for the overtake.
Yeah, that was just the game plan. As soon as I knew he had, I could have sent it so many times on those first few laps, but no point risking a warning when I know I could keep with him.
Yeah.
His in-laps must have been insane before the pits, though, because I always undercut. I always pit a lap or 2 early. And I think as I came in, I was 0.8 behind him. And then as he came out from his, he was 1.6 ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how has he managed to gain that much time on dead soft tyres with no grip left?
Yeah, see, I thought when you undercut, he thinks this is the only way of getting past here. Because you were stuck behind him for quite a few laps.
Yeah, my softs were just burning like mad through Sector 2. Like, it's the dirty air on this game is just atrocious.
Yeah.
Slightly annoyed that Rick got fourth.
He was only 4 attempts from getting third with all the
Oh,
penalties.
God.
Yeah. After
And had
fighting from P17, it's not bad going from
yeah,
Rick.
and had a disaster in the sprint as well. So I were hoping to claw back more points, but didn't quite work that way.
Nah, win's a win, mate. You can't get better than that. So you're
No,
laughing.
take that.
Plenty of races to go yet as well. So
Yeah, some tracks I don't think I've raced on in this group either.
I can't remember the calendar. I have to have a look. I'm not too sure.
Well, we've got Singapore, Las Vegas, and Qatar next, and I don't think I've been in a race around Singapore or Vegas. So that'll be interesting. All right, buddy. Yeah, well raced, mate. Well raced. That's some pace.
Oh, I bet, mate. Oh,
Oh, that's me, bud. That's me. There were a few times, and I'm like, do I just send it into turn one? Yeah. Were you also on 2 track limit warnings? Were that at like the end of lap 5 as well? Because I was exactly the same. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, soon as you got out of like the 1.5 second gap, I was like, if he's got that 10-second penalty, I'm clawing back about 4 tenths on the straights. I just, I run 5 rear wing on Brazil.
yeah. You could
Yeah,
tell with
I just
sector
don't.
two. You could really tell with the sector times. Like you was gaining half a second in that sector just through like the extra downforce. Easy.
Yeah, I don't even remember that sort of stuff we set up, mate. I take one at best ones using traction control and muck muck about with the wings and the wings and differential is the main things I mess with. Yeah, yeah, right.
He's giving you his tips here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take them if I'm gonna need them to beat Rick this season. Yeah. Does anyone know where Oliver finished in the feature?
Uh, 1 second, mate. I'll have a quick look. He wasn't. He was at the bottom somewhere, mate. So, no, he wasn't. He was. 1 sec.
Oh, we're in. I was saying to Jimmy at one point on my screen on the board on the side. Out of all the 5 drivers, I were the only one that had no penalty. I was the same. That's why I was sort of throwing fakes down the inside because I like if I can just make him think I'm really going for it, he'll just run it wide. But you didn't fall for any of them, so Yeah.
Richie P11, mate.
Oh, I'll take that. It pulls me away from him, I think.
He had a bit of a tangle with someone losing a front wing at one point, so
I don't know what was going on with his connection today, but
it's the
in that
same last
sprint
week, mate.
race,
It was the same
yeah.
last week. Yeah, he did.
I think it might have been, I was stuck behind someone, I don't know if it were you, Dave, in the sprint. And going through sector 2, Oliver's car was actually on the back of someone's wing, like on two
Oh,
wheels, driving round the left-handers. I was like, what is going on? Yeah.
no, the time you'll get too close to Lund Ghost and then you'll be off them.
Yeah,
Nah,
well done, buddy. Well
keep
done.
that pace up, mate, and you'll do just fine, mate. Trust. Yeah,
Yep, see
man.
you in
Same
Singapore.
time next week. See you later,
See you
mate.
later, buddy.
Yeah, man. Round that up there, innit? That is round 4 in Brazil. F2 all boxed off. Northern Nat taking the win. Just Dave P2. Can't remember who else that was. Oh, it was Glock P3, just about with them time penalties. Catch us for F1 Fridays at 8:30, Tier 1 and 2, and Tier 3 Sundays at 8 p.m. Same time next week for the F2. We'll see you then. Nice one for
Yep.
tuning in.